Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Happy I can say it again, and get your popcorn ready for a series that I've been waiting a long time to bring back to you guys. If you're new to the channel, you may be unfamiliar with my Legacy Mode series on College Hoops 2K8, featuring high school coaching legend Ken Carter trying to work his way up the college basketball coaching trees. I highly recommend you catch up with this series, and I'll leave a link in the description and comments section if this interests you. Ken Carter's first coaching job is at unknown University of Tennessee Martin, who posted a lethargic 4-22 record last year, but so far, in Coach Carter's first year of having the reins to the program, they sit at a respectable 8-win, 13-loss record and 6-8 in Ohio Valley Conference play. We will touch on the playoff picture for the OVC in a second, but we must highlight the players that have helped the Skyhawks be in such a position that they have the luxury to fight for an OVC playoff position and a chance to be in March Madness in Coach Carter's first year here. First and foremost, we have to highlight Shaquille Hammond, a 6'9" power forward out of Athens, Georgia, who actually leads the conference in scoring. Expect him to handle a bulk of the scoring, but that doesn't mean we don't have other weapons, such as David Giles, who is one of the better three-point specialists in the entire conference, sitting at a hair under 10 points a game. He also shows some skills locking down on defense, and a guy that has quickly become a fan favorite, freshman point guard Dwight Easley. This guy's stats do not do justice at just how energetic he is. He is such a spark plug, so fun to watch. His stats don't do it justice. You guys will see when we get to some gameplay just how much of an impact this kid has. Floyd Zubek, a blue-collar 6'8" post from Serbia. He is a guy who handles the bulk of the rebounding and protection inside. Joey Ballard, he is a defensive first, 6'7" lanky wing from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Once he develops a more polished offensive game, he's going to be one of the better two-way players in the conference. Next up on the list, we're going to look at some of our bench players, as that was our starting five. And more often than not, our sixth man is Marcus Saunders, a 6'1" freshman from Baton Rouge. This guy's always flying around the court, super light on his feet, super quick, fleet of foot. He has such a great ability of getting by defenders and finding a shot around the rim. Blair Renfro's name is the zone killer. He's shooting about 46% from three. He'll come off the bench whenever we need to find shooters to beat a zone. D. Cartwright, he began as the team's starting point guard to begin the year, but even after Dwight Easley took his spot, he still remains resilient off the bench. He is a hard worker. A guy whose stats are a little misleading is Gene Schofield. He provides some valuable spark off the bench as he's put together a quietly solid freshman campaign at 3.5 points per game. AJ Sullivan, a good rebounder for being undersized at the center position. You'll see him checking in for some bench minutes every once in a while. And at the end of the bench, Davion Baez and Cameron Bethel. And it's really been a team effort getting UT Martin to this point. You see, in the Ohio Valley Conference, the top 8 teams get a chance to play in the conference tournament and ultimately fight for the goal of playing in March Madness, whoever wins the tournament. And UT Martin right now is 9th in the conference, half a game out of that coveted 8th spot at Tennessee Tech right now. So they need to start winning games here. Only a handful of games left in the season, and the first marquee matchup is against Tennessee State. The Tennessee State Tigers are a very scrappy team. Their top player, Jasper Powell, has been sidelined for most of the year with a broken wrist. Even if we don't have to face Jasper Powell, this team is still a very tough out. They stand at 6th right now in the Ohio Valley Conference, and they have been giving troubles to a lot of the top teams. Right now, they're just as motivated as we are. They're trying to stay in that playoff picture and not let teams like us try to spoil their chances. So this will be a very tough matchup for us. TSU, they are one of the best defensive-minded teams in the entire conference. But at the same token, we stand as the number 1 team scoring in the conference right now. We lead all teams in points per game, so it'll be a very interesting matchup of offense versus defense. But the caveat is, though, that even though UT Martin leads the conference in points per game, they also allow the most points per game as well, and you can see that our defense getting torched early, already down to a 10-1 run the Skyhawks face. But immediately they go inside of Shaquille Hammond, but as the season has gone on, he has done a better and better job of finding guys out of the post. You have that luxury whenever you lead the conference in scoring. Teams will collapse on Hammond, and he has shown some great court vision finding shooters on the perimeter as the games go on. But here comes another basket. This one is Forrest Harrington, who already has 6 points, outscoring the Tennessee Martin team. That is until Shaquille Hammond makes a circus layup beating Tennessee State's press. Finally, UT Martin trying to get back in the game a little bit. They cut it to a 2-point game. Dwight Easley, such a good job finding his shot off the dribble, putting the ball on the floor, and finding a jump shot is one of Dwight Easley's best traits as a offensive-minded point guard. Knotted up at 16 here, they go inside. Floyd Zubek finds some pay dirt inside underneath the rim. And finally, UT Martin holds the first lead of the game. Once again beating the zone. Joey Ballard, does he have a layup in him? Yes, he does. The lanky 6'7" freshman scoring, which ultimately leads to a turnover. UT Martin has gotten that press from Coach Carter, as that was great for Carter at the high school level. And it's so interesting whenever you see a seemingly inconsequential play leading to a turn of events like this. Dwight Easley knocking down a three, and just like that, UT Martin finds himself with some momentum. Back down in the post, Floyd Zubek finding Easley with another three under his belt. Early on in the game, I told you guys, I warned you, Easley for a freshman is just so fun to watch, but finally, Easley hits the bench. Here comes D. Cartwright, who is second in the team when it comes to assists per game, as he finds Hammond inside. Now coming off a screen, David Giles has been a little quiet, but he finds Marcus Saunders. A great pass from Giles, as Saunders and Easley have already combined for 17. The two freshmen have been leading the way today in this pivotal late season matchup. In the early stages of the second half, UT Martin sports a 3-point lead, but here comes Forrest Harrington with a knockdown three from the corner. Yes, Tennessee State, I've brushed on it a little bit, a very resilient team. My hat's off to them. Just the fact that they're in the playoff picture without Jasper Powell, one of the best players in the conference, and here comes Daquan Sweeney, the point guard, knocking down a three. Tennessee State finding themselves in the driver's seat as they are on a 10-2 run right now, but that is until another great find from Shaquille Hammond. David Giles knocking one down from the corner as he finds his second field goal of the game. It's been a fun matchup between the lefty of Daquan Sweeney and Dwight Easley from our side, but look at this. Dwight Easley bringing the intensity on the defensive side of the floor as well. His second steal of the contest. David Giles doing a great job running and filling that lane correctly, as that was an easy dish inside to him. Now sporting a 3-point lead, Dwight Easley gives the cross, one of the best plays you'll see all year from the young and up-and-coming freshman. Ken Carter must be exhilarated, just the fact that he has a guy like this that he can build around for years to come. He may only be in his first year, but the conference is taking notice of the budding superstar. Now with a 4-point lead, Easley at the controls, he'll give it inside to Hammond, who's been a little quiet today. Look at this, everybody trapping him. He draws so much defensive attention that even Joey Ballard finds an open jump shot on the baseline. Now there's 5:54 left to play. Tip pass, but the ball still goes and reverses to Nelson Reese, who finds a shot from a step inside the 3-point arc. One of the reasons why Tennessee State's been so good without Jasper Powell is this guy, Nelson Reese, as he's averaging 10.2 on the year, and the guards as a whole have really saved this season as they've picked up the slack with no Powell in the lineup. But look at this circus shot with a circus bounce from Shaquille Hammond as he's been stepping it up in the second half. He has 14 points to his name as well, and is a big reason why UT Martin is still in the lead. But you cannot leave the leading scorer of the conference with that much space to operate down in the low post. Emmanuel O'Brien, he is tacked with the foul, and one for the leading scorer. Now with 1:25 left to play, going back to Shaquille Hammond. But look, the entire team is trapping him. So much attention on him. That will leave the knockout punch up to Marcus Saunders, and he delivers. That jumper looked pure right out of his hand. And it looks like we're going to be getting this episode with a win. But not before one more firework before we get out of this gym. Steal. Giles. Picked up by Easley. Back to Giles as he flushes it down. Wow. What authority behind that jam, and Giles has some sneaky bounce. For a guy who can shoot as well as he can, you wouldn't expect it, but he's been found by Easley quite a few times this year to throw down some mean jams. And at the end of the day, it'll be a 9-point win for your UT Martin Skyhawks. Tennessee State is so good at scoring, especially with their guards, but just the fact that Easley, Giles, and Saunders were able to combine for 36 points, it really kind of offset that. And they all had big performances. And finally, UT Martin has slid into the 8th seed. but this is also another huge matchup. As you see, Eastern Illinois standing at 8-7. That is our next opponent. We're going to take a look at a box score early on in the season, and this is from our first matchup with EIU, where Shaquille Hammond put up 28 points. So we know we can beat this team, but it's just a matter of putting the pieces together when it matters most. And in the beginning stages of this one, David Giles already getting off to a good start. He finds a jump shot there. But one thing about Eastern Illinois that is so hard to match up with is just how good they are scoring inside. You won't see this team take or make many threes, but they are so good at slashing. All players in their starting five can score underneath the rim and get to the basket and find teammates for easy looks. On defense, they run a 2-3 zone, so we're going to have to be very smart with our passes and look for guys when they're open, especially when the ball rotates down to the low post. Sometimes finding a shot against this 2-3 zone can be tough just because these guys are so athletic on EIU, but so far we've been doing a good job of that. And look at this, going high to low, down to the low block, kicking it out to Dwight Easley, who finds another three from the corner. He already has 6 points, and it looks like he's due for a big one in this one. Now Blair Renfro checks in, normally a 3-point specialist, but even he finds some pay dirt inside as he makes good on the layup down low. He's shooting above 40% from 3, but a great screen right there by Gene Schofield. Now they go back inside. This time it's Anthony Garcia, the backup power forward. He had a good game against us in our first matchup off the bench, so looks like he might be in for one in this one as well. Now Jonathan Joyce tries to throw it inside, but it looks like we're starting to bite on those passes now. We're starting to look for it, and that leads to a turnover. D. Cartwright scoring in transition off the bench. 5:35 left to play in the first half. Another pick and roll, but once again, guys helping out as a team. Whenever the ball goes inside, Gene Schofield records the block. On the secondary break, the ball goes to David Giles. Beats his man off the dribble, gets the hoop plus the harm. He'll be going to the line for an and one opportunity. Guys like him need to have good games against tough zones like this, or else we just won't be able to keep up offensively. Now here's Jonathan Joyce, tries it again from inside. Once again, everybody swarming the ball when it goes into the painted area. Here comes David Giles with a crafty scoop left-handed finish. Most of his points have come off the break, as he is great at running that floor in transition. Once again going inside, this time Adeyemi Tefo, just not enough defensive resiliency on the inside that time as he records his second basket of the ball game. Dwight Easley's been doing a great job of just finding a shot somehow, some way at the end of the shot clock. 1 second left in the half, pulls up in his man's face, and he gets another one to fall with the shot clock expiring. I don't know how he is so good at that, but he is the go-to guy at the end of the halves. Down by 2 beginning the second half of play, but Marcus Saunders immediately coming off the bench. He has not had a good one as he flashes the muscle right there. But like I was saying, he hasn't had a good ball game so far, missing his first 3 attempts, but maybe this one will give him some much needed momentum to maybe find his shot some more. But a guy that has been torching us is Xavier Hodges. Doesn't get that one to fall, but Roger Lewandowski remains tough on the boards as he cleans up the mess inside with the third chance going in on that possession. Eastern Illinois is going back to man-to-man, but that just can allow guys like Marcus Saunders to beat their guys off the dribble. We have guys that can beat zones and beat man-to-man, so it's tough sometimes to match up against us. But here comes Xavier Hodges and the Panthers offense, as he has 9 points so far, and he's the top scorer to this point. Here comes Hammond doing some work on the high post. Another guy who hasn't been great today, as has really been zoning in on him, but he finally finds one. You know, it's hard for him to go up against zone, can't really post up, but after they switched to man-to-man, you know he was waiting for it, licking his chops, immediately finding a basket, but he would not be done there. Dwight Easley, nice bounce pass inside. Tough finish, but even a tougher bounce, but cleans up the mess. Shaquille Hammond showing some heart there on the offensive glass, and once again, another steal. Joey Ballard, can he finish? Not quite. I'm telling you, though, Joey Ballard, 6'7", tall, lanky. When he develops an offensive game, he's going to be a great glue guy. But Dwight Easley forcing a pass there, going off the break. Xavier Hodges pulls it, and he gets it to fall. He only had 6 points in the first half, but already has 8 in this half, combining for 14. And once again, the Panthers' top scorer. The Panthers want to continue to feed the hot hand as Xavier Hodges does a great job of making Marcus Saunders bite into that screen so much so that he fell down, as he is good from the jump shot from 15 feet, and Coach Carter's wheels are spinning. What do you do with a guy like that when he's so hot? But Dwight Easley with a veteran move right here, in and out, taking it to the defense, scoring over Bakari Campbell and all those high flyers inside. That was a veteran move right there. Man, he is going to be a great player. Everybody's excited to see him develop. But he would not be done there. Tips a pass. Easley. Another great look inside. Even Joey Ballard gets in on the fun. And one for the 6'7" freshman from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Guys going back and forth. This is such a fun game to watch so far. Two teams on the brink of a playoff push. The Eastern Illinois defenders must have been, hey, that was a pretty good make, but he's not going to do it from deep, is he? Well, that's exactly what Joey Ballard does. Only shooting 28% from 3, only 9 made threes on the season out of 32 attempts. That was number 9 right there. But here comes Anthony Garcia. Great screen off the ball as he can just walk right into the paint. Not enough fight inside, as UT Martin might have to experiment with maybe a zone to lock up the slashes inside. But here comes David Giles making it from basically the same spot as Joey Ballard just a few plays ago, as he's got 12 on the ball game thus far. 5 and some change left to play. David Giles again from the left wing, no good, but this time it's Gene Schofield, as even the deep bench guys are making an impact. Schofield not a type of guy to have his efforts show up in the box score, but that's a situation where it does. But Xavier Hodges quickly enters back, as most of his points have come in the second half, as he makes a jump shot from just inside the arc. And as you can see, looks like Coach Carter is going to try to stick Joey Ballard on the red hot Xavier Hodges. Dwight Easley is not only a shoot first point, but he shows some veteran type assisting ability, as that was a beautiful pass inside, and all Shaquille Hammond had to do was lay it in. He's got 10 on the ball game. 2:35 left to play. 10-point lead. Ball reversal. Quentin Cole finds one. 8 points for the point guard, as it seems with the last few minutes of this ball game, Eastern Illinois is starting to try to spread out the attack a little bit more, as to be honest, Xavier Hodges has had trouble finding his shot with the lanky Joey Ballard on him. But an unforced error. Floyd Zubek could not handle the pass from Shaquille Hammond trying to beat that press. And here comes Bakari Campbell, one of the better slashers in the entire conference, as he's got 6 on the ball game, and the lead is now 6. Under 2 to play. Here comes Shaquille Hammond, and his arsenal of moves to get to the rim are unmatched, using the drop step move to his benefit. He's got a dozen on the game, scoring at will inside in the late stages of this ball game. Once again, though, can Dwight Easley do it again? Send another team home empty-handed. The fadeaway over the defense. Not enough to knock him off his stride, as he would finish with 14 on the game. A couple big shots from the freshman, and it was another team effort. Easley with 14, Giles matched him. Shaquille Hammond with 12. Everybody contributing, putting up 61 as a team, and a great defensive showing against these slashing Eastern Illinois players. The Panthers only scored 5 points in the last 3.5 minutes of the ball game, and that has a lot to do with Joey Ballard locking down Xavier Hodges to end the game. But with the next 2 games on our schedule, we face Tennessee Tech, a tough out, and we lose our second matchup against them this season. A 4-point loss, as we allowed 56 points in the second half. That's not going to get it done. And a tough showing from guys like Shaquille Hammond, as they really had a lot of defensive pressure on him. Marcus Saunders with 13 off the bench, but it wasn't enough. And we drop another tough game. Southeast Missouri State's one of the weaker teams in our conference, but we've lost 2 games to them this season. Both matchups, we lost a triple overtime thriller early on in the season, and now we drop one to them here late in the season, as we've left the door open for them. Winning this game, they now have overtaken the 8th seed, and they have the tiebreaker against us. Tennessee Tech's understandable, we were due for a loss, but Southeast Missouri State, come on, we gotta beat these guys, but we couldn't, twice this season, including a triple overtime thriller that we lost early on in the season to them. So now we have to go up against Eastern Kentucky. The road does not get any easier, as they are number 1 in least points allowed and 3rd in most points. They sport a 13-3 record in conference play so far and have one of the most balanced attacks you'll ever see from any mid-major school, including 11 a game from Elliot Armstead and JT Mobley, one of the better backcourt tandems in the entire league, Jawan Rosario and Gino Gonzalez, a great 1-2 combo inside, and honestly, tough sledding, as you might expect. This is one of the hardest places to win at in the conference, and it is showing. It is showing in UT Martin's offensive impotence so far. It is showing in our ability to not handle pressure as AJ Sullivan coughs it up. And it is showing with our lack of defensive presence, especially in the paint. Look at this, a 16-point deficit we face here in the first half already. But if there's one difference between the team this year and the team last year before Coach Carter got here, is last year these guys would roll over. They would immediately accept the loss as Marcus Saunders makes a three. But sooner or later, Coach Carter at the reins, you're going to know that his teams are going to fight and scrap to the very end. As Dwight Easley does a great job being in the zone, flashing to the high post, finding his jump shot, great pass from Marcus Saunders. And you're going to be hearing that name a lot, Marcus Saunders. Just wait till you see what Marcus Saunders has in store for you. But 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Dwight Easley stops and pops at the end of the shot clock once again. The freshman continues to do it when the game is on the line and we need a basket, especially at the end of a half, as there's 10 points for number 10. But quickly, now he has a baker's dozen with another 3-point shot from the corner. The lead is just like that, down to 6. Once again, beating the press. We're doing a much better job in the second half of that, not forcing mistakes and finding open jump shots off the press break when the defense is not set up. As you can see, Eastern Kentucky turns over the ball. They're starting to feel the pressure of relinquishing a big first half lead. Marcus Saunders can't get the bounce, but Shaquille Hammond flushes it down. Maybe a little bit frustrated. He took out some of his frustration on the rim, as he has not had a great one so far in this one, as it's been the freshmen who have led the way. Marcus Saunders, can he do it again? Yes, he can. That 3-point bomb from the corner gives the Skyhawks the lead. 22 points for Saunders. 14 of them have already come in the second half of action. 5-point lead now. Less than 10 minutes to play. Easily off the screen. Goes inside. Kicks it out. Saunders, they're panicking at the end of the shot clock. But when that shot clock turns on, Dwight Easley is your man. 16 on the game as he scores on a blacktop type 3-pointer. As the lead is now 8. A huge run for the Skyhawks, kicking it out to you-know-who, Marcus Saunders. Oh my goodness. Coach Carter was at a loss how to beat the zone in the first half, but in the second, it's simple. Give it to Saunders and let him work. But here comes JT Mobley, one of the better point guards in the conference. He's number 1 in assists per game, but he scores a 3 from the corner. Ball works inside to Benjamin K as he puts in a jump shot over the smaller Saunders, as Eastern Kentucky is making a game out of it for sure. We have to remember who we're facing. This team is 13-3 in conference play, one of the better teams in the conference, and they're not willing to give that up. But I don't think Floyd Zubek cares very much if they're willing or not. He's just going to take it from them. Another great find from the freshman, Dwight Easley, as his passing exhibition has been amazing in these last few games. 8-point game. Here comes Lincoln McKenzie finding one from the 3-point arc in the corner as he makes good on it. So the lead is now 5. 3.5 left to play. Easily doing a little bit too much there on offense, as here comes Tyler Holiday as he will cash in on the layup. EKU will never go down without a fight. They're one of the best teams not only in the conference, but one of the better mid-major schools in the entire NCAA. But here comes Marcus Saunders. Is he done for the day? You must not know him if you think he is. 29 on the ball game for Saunders. It's taken a career night from our 6-man just to be able to compete with EKU, but that's all that matters, is that he's having it tonight. Is he done? Not even close. Another 3-point bomb from the corner. 32 points for Saunders. And the energy continues on defense, rushing a shot inside. Floyd Zubek gets a piece of it, and we would ride that momentum to a huge win, in big part to those two young men right there, combining for 53 points, 10 assists, and 9 made 3-pointers is Dwight Easley and Marcus Saunders, resulting in an 86-80 huge comeback win versus the now 13-win, 4-loss Eastern Kentucky Colonels. Marcus Saunders, 32 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 missed tray ball on the ball game, and also valiant efforts from the likes of Dwight Easley with 8 assists, only 3 missed field goals. We had Floyd Zubek, who had a really good second half, especially on defense. Hammond pitched in 11, took a backseat tonight, and as you can see, Eastern Kentucky threw everything they could at us. All the different looks, they had 4 guys getting to double figures, but it still would not be enough. This win sets us up so nicely for the playoffs now. We finally sit in that coveted 8th spot, but the team that is right below us, Murray State, who we have beat earlier on in the year, they sit at 8 and 11. Both teams have 1 game left on the schedule to determine who will have that last spot, and guess who that last game on the schedule is? Yeah, we're placing Murray State in the season finale right now. So the Skyhawks can finally say for certain that they control their own destiny. If we win, then we'll have a 2-0 season sweep and we'll finish a game above them for the 8th spot. But a loss means that we'll be tied 1-1 for the season series and tied for the 8th spot. So things get a little bit hairy if we can't close it out in the last game of the season to try to make the Ohio Valley Conference playoffs and have a chance at March Madness.